Welcome to the Chief Architect Home Design video. Our design today is a house I call the Modern Bungalow. I used a client's photo for inspiration. I'm going to begin by creating floor 1 to build a ranch-style house, then move on to create the second floor. As I go through the steps, I'll show you the details, how to create the design, the construction drawings, and the renderings you can use to create your or your client's dream house. You can download this sample plan from our website. See our samples page at chiefarchitect.com. So, let's get started. For today's demo, I'm using the premier version of Chief Architect. You can download a free trial version from our website and follow along if you're interested. The first step in design is to create the shape of the house. To do that, I'm going to use our exterior wall tool, and I'm going to create the shape of those walls, and you'll notice that as I'm doing this, I'm going to get a temporary dimension that displays. I'm not going to worry too much about those dimensions until I complete that shape. Notice the snap indicators when walls are aligned. Once I'm finished, I'm going to come up into the menu system and choose our automatic dimensions. We have two, one for exterior, one for interior. The exterior dimensions will place, and now you can simply grab a wall and you can move it to the location you're after, or you can select the dimension and enter in a precise value. Either way works. Again, grab the wall, slide it to the desired location, or click on the dimension, in this case 36 feet, and you can precisely locate it. So I'm just going to go around and create these dimensions that I'm after, and I'm going to set that to 2 feet. And it takes just a few minutes, and then you can create the exact dimensions that you're after. And the final one down here is I'm going to set that to be 42 feet. Once I'm finished, pull that over. I've got a shell that is approximately 1,400 square feet. And if I take the 3D overview camera, you can see exactly the way the design looks. Now the first thing you're going to notice when I take a 3D overview is the siding, the interior wall color, the base molding, the floor color, and even the ceiling height have already been defined in a template plan that I've set up. So you can change these at any point through the design process, or if you know in advance what you are designing, then you can set those up and save yourself a little bit of time. While you're in this 3D view, you can use the door and window tools and place those objects. So for this window, I'm going to simply place it, and then you can reposition it, and if you double click on it, you can customize this window in any way that you're interested in, including using manufacturer style windows or using the built-in smart windows that are included with Chief Architect. So to begin with, I'm going to change this window to a single hung window, and I'm also going to change the dimensions here to 36 by 60. And I'm going to set the floor to top to be 8 feet or 96 inches. And you'll notice each time I make a change, you'll get a preview update over here in the side panel. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the Lights tab. You'll notice there's several tabs along the top that you can customize this window to create just about any style that you're after. In the Lights tab, I'm going to go ahead and enter in a value of 5 across and 4, and I want to change that to a prairie style window, and then you can get the preview. You can put the lights in the movable or just in the fixed section with that setting down here. Select that. Doors work the same way. If I place our door tool, place a door, you can resize it, and again if you double click on that door, here's where you can enter in information about that. So let's go ahead and set that to be 60 inches wide. And I'm also going to make that a 96 inch high or 8 foot high door. To match our window, let's pull this dialog over here a little bit. I'm going to choose to be a glass door. And again, I'm going to come to the Lights tab, and I'm going to create a prairie style grid. And to do that, let's go ahead and put 5 across and put a value in there. You get the preview update, and there's the change. You can get as detailed as changing the hardware or the colors and materials and textures. In fact, as long as we're in here, let me open up our library, and we'll browse into our catalog, and we'll find a color that we can go ahead and set for the door. So Behr Paint, Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore. See if we can find a color that will work well enough. So we're going to use this black, and I'm going to apply that as a solid color to both the door and the window. Now once you've made changes to those objects, you can select that object, make it your default, and I'll do that for the door and the window. And now every time you place those objects, it becomes your default. So if we come back up in here, the door tool, place a couple more doors, you'll see that it already has all of those attributes that we just applied to it, and save yourself some time. The next step that I want to do is to precisely locate the doors and windows. If I bring up both views simultaneously, plan view and the 3D view, I'm going to tile the window here, and selecting the window, I can slide that over exactly the same way as we did with the walls when we drew those earlier. You can also highlight the dimension and enter in your value. In this case, I'll put in 3 feet. So again, just select the object you want. You can slide that over. You can also highlight the dimension and enter in the value. Let me draw in a few of the interior walls. And again, you can do this in either view, the 2D view or the 3D view. Interior wall tool up here in the menu. And I'm just going to snap a wall across from exterior wall to exterior wall. I'll do the same thing on the back here, and we'll just bring a wall over here. Now, to precisely locate that wall, again, you can simply select it, enter in the dimension, drag it over. I can also enter in dimensions on a room-by-room basis with our automatic tool. If we highlight a room, you'll find an automatic dimension tool, and it will automatically place interior dimensions that go wall surface to wall surface. If you zoom in, this wall is actually, let me open it up and just show it to you. The wall type is an interior 4 wall, and there are 3 layers, sheetrock on either side with a 2x4 in the middle. So when I ran that interior dimension, it went surface to surface. So if you're doing interior design work, you can set that up. You can also change your dimension to be in inches, if in particular like a kitchen room. The other dimension tool, I can simply select an end-to-end dimension and just drag a dimension right through the structure and create the entire length. Pull that down. Or I can use an interior dimension and drag that across, and you get your interior dimension. In this case, I've got my default set up so that it's going to the 2x4 or the stud layer. Very easy to change something. If you want to change that dimension, just click on it and you can snap it into place. I'm going to go ahead and finish up placing the remaining walls here, so I'm going to skip ahead. So I've completed adding the interior walls. The next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple of openings and add some doors. The first thing is to use my break tool, and I'm going to create a notch inside of this area in here. Use our break one more time. And I'm going to select this wall, and now I can highlight it, double click on that wall, and I'm just going to toggle it to be invisible so I can create a pass-through. It's not wide enough to use a doorway, but you can see the effect. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this wall. So again, I'm going to select my brake tool and come over here, click there, and one more time, click the brake over here. And now I can select that wall, double click on it, and again just toggle that to be invisible. So all I've done is use that indicator to indicate that I want a room definition. So with the rooms defined, let's open up the library and we'll add a few materials and textures into the rooms. I have a user's catalog. That's my favorites area. If you have objects or materials, colors, and textures that you like and you use them frequently, you can create a folder. I've created a folder called the Modern Bungalow folder, and it's just a collection of those materials that I like to use. If you want to browse through, you can search the library. You can use manufacturers or generic items and search those and then apply them. You'll find about, there's over 10,000 items that you can choose out of the library. You can also import those from manufacturer websites. So I've saved a floor color for the hardwood, and once I've selected that, I'm going to apply that into the rooms that I'm interested in having that color. The next thing is to check in my materials folder. I'm going to look for some carpeting, and I'll apply that to the bedroom area. And we'll just work around and choose a few different colors that we can apply to. Apply this to the room. Find a tile and some carpet, and then we'll go in and explore. Grab that tile there and find some carpet in here. Mohawk carpet. And it looks like I've left a wall out. I want to have a bathroom that will adjoin this room that will be an office, and then a bedroom. I'm going to use my wall tool, select the interior wall, and I'm going to snap a wall across the two. And then I'm going to use what's called the material eyedropper. I'm going to pick up a color or a material that I like and apply it into the room that I want. This area here, I'm going to make that an enclosure underneath the stairway. And let's actually pick up that carpet and we'll apply it in the office. Now that I've got the basic materials assigned, each one of these rooms, if you double click to open it, you'll notice that I can adjust the ceiling information here, the ceiling structure. If I want to lower the ceiling, I can come in here and type in a value. Same thing for the floor structure, all the layers that make up that. When you do your materials list, it will calculate it. And also if you do a cross section, it will show you all of the layers that you've chosen to set up on a room by room basis or for the entire floor. If I place a few more windows, you'll remember that the windows that we had set up previously had been the default window. So it's got the black with the prairie style grids. And one of the things you can do, if I group select by grabbing both of those windows with a shift click, I'm going to use a center tool and center those windows inside of that room. So I got a visual indicator. If you have a cabinet, let's say, and you want to center that cabinet over a window, simply use the center tool and you can center it right over that window. I'm going to go ahead and delete that for now. I'm going to use the material eyedropper and also pick up on my molding. I notice that the molding is white in most of the rooms. If I want to change that black, I can use my material eyedropper off of the window and just come around here and click in the different rooms. I could also set that up for the entire floor and simply click and place that for all the rooms. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead and place the remaining doors and windows into the design. And we'll come back and revisit where we're at and adding our stairs.